What is up, everybody? Welcome to our Sixers post-game show. Sixers get the W tonight, 122-119 against a solid Memphis Grizzlies team. No Joel Embiid. This has to be one of their best wins of the season, one of the most entertaining wins of the season. Tyrese freaking Maxey making a statement tonight. Let's go. Joining me, I've got my man Tiago. He is at T Scabio. What's up, Tiago?
Maxey against Morant, man. You could not have scripted any better than tonight. You just simply could have not scripted. It was just two elite guards going face-to-face, head-to-head. Maxey did not back down. We saw an epic performance from Ja Morant tonight. And Maxey brought it home, and the walk-off layup to win it, obviously, but it was a lot more than that. It was on both ends of the court. It was a phenomenal effort by Maxey, and most importantly by the extremely short-handed Sixers. We can talk more about that.
We have a lot to talk about tonight. Also joining us, my man from the Pick Swap Podcast, Philly Sports Network. He is Sean. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely awesome win. A game I did not expect them to come out on top of going into. And, I mean, without Joel, it's tough to ask. And that was just probably the most fun Sixers game that I've seen all year. And just absolutely exciting stuff. Tyrese Maxey and Ja Morant. I mean, you really just can't beat those two going ahead. Both just an absolute pleasure to watch. And that was an awesome game. That was just an awesome game.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. If you're watching us live, comment, man. Let's deep dive into Ja Morant versus Tyrese Maxey, which was really at the starting point of this. What an epic showdown between these two. Ja Morant was just unstoppable inside the paint. You look at some of the shot charts here between Maxey and Ja Morant. Let me fix that real quick. You have Ja Morant, 15 of 30 from the floor, 13 of 23 for Tyrese Maxey. Wow. Ja Morant didn't hit a single shot from the perimeter. There's one shot outside of 15 feet. Maxey did hit a few. But these two put on a show, man. Real quick, Tiago, what was your take on Tyrese Maxey versus Ja Morant? And who won the battle? Who won that battle?
You know, Morant may have won the battle, but I think Maxey won the war. Distinguishing point here. I think we watch a lot of Sixers games. I have not seen anything like I saw with Morant tonight. I think this guy is a generational player. I think what he did tonight against the Sixers is something that's going to stand with me for a very long time because he was literally unstoppable. Now, we can talk about some of the defensive things the Sixers did that made that even easier on that end. But in terms of Maxey, for me, that's really what the people want to know is, you know, his ability to finish at the rim, and you saw that on the chart itself he had up, is extremely impressive. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is extremely undersized compared to the NBA, and you saw a bunch of, you know, off-balance, tricky, you know, layups and hesitation dribbles and figuring out how to, you know, get that shot up against Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. I thought he got fouled on multiple occasions and didn't get called and still made the layup. So his ability to finish at the rim was something that was extremely impressive. And, you know, we can also talk about his defense. I thought it was phenomenal. Given what he had to deal with tonight, I thought his defense tonight was absolutely phenomenal. And we can talk more in detail about that. But overall, I would just say it's about as good as you could ever expect from Maxey offensively tonight. And credits to him, man. They needed him to deliver, and he did it in a big way.
It's amazing. When that guy has the keys to this offense, it is a different player. Tyrese Maxey is a different player when the ball is in his hands and he is creating. Sean, what was your take on Tyrese Maxey versus Ja Morant and who won the battle?
Yeah, very cool to see Maxey step up to the challenge. And, I mean, Ja Morant is a legitimate A1 star in this league. And just so cool, so fun to watch play. Just the craftiness around the basket, the way he head fakes and ball fakes and just creates space for himself, finds a way to get this shot off, get a way to score. And just unreal athleticism, just the way he hangs in the air. Really just times where he will go up with the ball and is just counting on just hanging there longer than the guy that he's going up with. And he makes it work just about every time. He's a guy that, since he's begun his career, I've given him comparisons to Derrick Rose just with the shades I see in the way they play. I think he's an even more impressive athlete than Derrick Rose, even in his prime. And It's pretty crazy the way this guy makes it happen. Like the lack of outside shooting in his game and how successful he still is in it is pretty ridiculous. And I agree. I think Ja Morant won the battle, but I mean, Sixers came out on top, so you can't ask more from that from Maxey. And for a guy to just step up, take the challenges, be ready, and he just straight up showed up tonight. He was ready to take the keys, and he took it home. So you can't ask much more.
And I look at Tyrese Maxey's box score: 33 points. He was a +5, 8 assists. He had 4 blocks.
Yeah,
nobody stopped Desmond Bane except for Tyrese Maxey tonight. Bane couldn't miss unless it was Maxey in his grill, blocking his shot.
That's really the thing, Chris, because like Desmond Bane is a load. I mean, the guy's built like a football player, extremely physical player, strong. And Maxey had to defend him for multiple possessions throughout the game, especially. I thought that the Sixers perhaps should have flipped. I thought they should have gone with Thibault on Bane and kept Maxey on Morant because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Thibault was no match for Morant. So maybe having him on Bane would have helped the situation. But even still, I mean, he was asked to hedge on the pick and roll, rotate back out to Bane. It was an impressive defensive performance by Maxey, which is what's going to make him become a playable player down the stretch. So give him credit for that as well.
Yeah. Let's jump right into Tobias. Actually, no, let's go to some comments real quick before we throw it back. And we're going to talk about Tobias. Awesome Wells says, great game. Man, that was just unbelievable. So fun. We've had 2 really entertaining games back to back here. Oh man, it's been great. Darth Pooh says, Maxey, what a win from Nasty Nizzle. Awesome also says Maxey versus Morant and Maxey for the win. Ziggy Marley says, great win. Pedro says, hello, my favorite Philly guys. What's going on, Pedro? What's happening? Matisse with the greatest assist of all time. And he also had like a running floater, like just like we all drew up, right?
That one late.
I was like, no, and it went in. Oh man. The Cleva says number 25 is punching air. Oh man, we've got Brazil in the house. What is oh wait, no, that's Pedro. That's Pedro. He is from Brazil.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Tyrese Maxey won the game all around because he played defense, 4 blocks. Can we get some love for Andre Drummond? We're going to be talking about Andre Drummond's massive game tonight. He was all over the place defensively, putbacks, interior defense. Oh, man, he was terrific. He had a couple passes, too, that were pretty impressive. I don't know if he's a great passer or he just there's not a window that he doesn't love. Yeah. He'll just throw it there for the hell of it.
On that
one. Matisse plays such good defense they had to switch him off Morant. I don't know if we're gonna get into that. Tobias Harris, full redemption game. Tyrese is untouchable. Rob says Maxey has improved so much. 25 assists in the last 3 games. Bad passer. 8 assists. That's been the main take of Tyrese Maxey in January. He's only averaging 14 points a game, but his assists, over 7 assists per game in January, and he's shooting the lights out from 3-point range. So with that being said, guys, keep the comments going. We'll go to the comments in a second. Let's go into Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris had 31 points tonight, 12 of 25 from the field. He had 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, but I think 2 of those blocks were literally in the first quarter. What about you, Sean? What was your take on Tobias Harris and his improved play, man? Tobias Harris as a passer, it is what it is. It's frustrating to watch at times, but man, he had a really, really strong game tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen him just flip the switch in recent games, and cool to see him regain that. Tonight was a night where they just needed him to step up, and he did, which is awesome. I mean, 31 points, great, very effective all around. This was a matchup I thought he was going to really struggle with Jaren Jackson on the matchup, which obviously he wasn't on there full time, but he wasn't swallowed up by his athleticism on the offensive end and kind of the way I expected. And I mean, just I'm very thrilled to see kind of Harris play through, I guess, the criticism and everything, and kind of regain what he really is as a player. And I think he's coming back to just the more shrunken version of what he does well and operating in his prime spaces. And I mean, the results of that have been incredible so far. So great to see him getting back to the Tobias Harris that we know and love, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's been really good. The last, month, his net rating has really gone up and up here in January, 6.8. It was a negative 2.2 in November, a negative 2.9 in December, 6.8 here in January. You look at his January stats, 46.2% from three in the catch and shoot, 67 effective field goal percentage with one dribble or less. And his numbers with Joel Embiid are improving. You'd love to see more decisive Tobias Harris showing up, man. Tiago, what was your take on Tobias's game?
Yeah, he looks more comfortable on the ball. He's making just better decisions on the ball, off the bounce. I think one of the advantages that you have with Tobias Harris is the ability to run pick and roll with him. And I thought that when Memphis wanted to go big with Steve Adams, they really got him in that action, and he was able to get some very clean looks off the dribble in that kind of patent mid-range area that he loves. I thought it was a good weapon for the Sixers to exploit because Adams simply just can't move defensively. So you see the advantage of having a guy like Tobias on the team. All the talk that he's a useless player is just not true. The guy makes plays when he's given in a position to do that. I will say he makes some maddening decisions. All that said, some absolutely mad, especially in transition. I mean, this guy's inability to recognize where the transition help defense is coming from, 99 times out of 100 ends up in a turnover offensive foul, and he continues to not see it over and over again. So, I mean, without Ben Simmons, you're going to get that more often in transition. You got to live with it. But, I mean, the Sixers get this type of Tobias Harris like they've got in the month of January. They're going to be a tough out because he's been very, very good here for the last month.
Yeah, he was 2 of 5 from three-point range, man. When Tobias is just hitting his threes, man, he's just a completely different player. Different player, impact player for this Sixers team. Let's go to some comments. Tobias had one heck of a month. Here's his shot chart. You see 2 of 5 from three-point range. Just love seeing him. Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say it looks cleaner. Like if you look at the where the shots are coming from, he's settling much less in that 16-foot area. So it's either in the paint at the rim or the 3-point line. So he's cleaning up a little bit of that contested 16-footer that you see usually from Tobias, which has helped him.
Mm-hmm. The catch and shoot specifically is, I guess, there's make or break for me in his game. And you see when he's just the willingness to just catch and shoot it. And I mean, the 2-3 specifically, I remember tonight, the one especially was just whenever, I mean, a decisive Tobias is a good Tobias. And that's pretty much all we've been getting lately, which is awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Rob says, seems like clearly was a major setback for Tobias. He's overpaid, but he isn't as bad as he was playing in November. Good to see his efficiency getting closer to last year. 100%. Doc couldn't help himself burning our last time out in regulation and then getting a tech. I don't really want to do that much complaining here.
No, I don't, because the effort was incredible. But
the Sixers had so much energy and so much fight. No Joel Embiid. Seth Curry started out by 0 of 7, 0 of 8. He had 9 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The Sixers had no Seth Curry tonight as well, essentially, until the end of this game, and still were playing their asses off in this game, man. The pump fake drive from Tobias is maddening. It is, man. He makes, like Tiago said, some really tough decisions with the ball in his hands. The ball shouldn't even be in his hands, but it is what it is. They don't have a point guard. They have no one to dribble the damn ball. Let's go into Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond, man. 16 points, 23 boards, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 8 of 11 from the field. I'm going to call it, man. This was Andre Drummond's best game of the year. When you're going up against a team that's the best rebounding team in the NBA, Andre Drummond had 10 freaking offensive rebounds in this game. Andre Drummond was everywhere. Lead us off, Tiago. What was your take on Andre Drummond?
Phenomenal. I mean, I thought it was a phenomenal game from the start. One of the things that you see, and this is by no means a criticism of Joel Embiid at all, but one of the things that you see with Andre is the athleticism and the agility in space. And by him being just a little bit quicker, a little bit more mobile, again, not to say that Embiid is not, but Andre has that extra agility that I find him to have on the court. They're able to use him in like hedging pick and rolls and kind of playing passing lanes a little bit more. And that's where you see the steals come from, the deflections come from. I thought he was instrumental early in the game in getting Morant off his comfort zone. So Morant tried to come off the pick and roll, attack downhill. And Andre was usually there kind of poking and prodding with his hands. The Sixers do not win this game without some sort of semblance of rebounding because Memphis is such a dominant team on the glass. And you saw that 23 rebounds? That is outstanding. I mean, the Sixers got everything they could possibly ask for Andre tonight. It was a phenomenal performance. Kudos to him.
The Sixers out-rebounded the Memphis Grizz 60-57. The Sixers had 14 offensive rebounds, 10 of those from Andre Drummond. You look at points in the paint, no Joel Embiid in this game. Memphis Grizzlies are the number 1 points in the paint team in the NBA as well. They only had 4 more than the Philadelphia 76ers. It's incredible. What an incredible performance from the Sixers team. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous effort. And like you said, the Grizzlies are by far a very good team in this area. So, like, impressive for this to come. Legendary quote coming out. He just said post-game that on his assist, quote, "I'm like Santa Claus, just handing them out." So,
no way. Did he just say that?
Yeah, it's being tweeted out by everyone. So, legendary there. He ended with 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in the first quarter. So starting off right off the top, a little bit of triple-double watch. I mean, the confidence that he plays with is pretty cool. This was a game where it's kind of a remembrance of when we compare him to Dwight Howard, which I honestly do too often. They're in such different areas of their career arc. When you think about, like, this is a 1-year kind of redeeming moment for Andre Drummond, and this was a night where he flashed how much he still has to offer. So very cool to see that. Very important. I think Drummond probably expected to be getting more time with the amount that Embiid typically misses. So a great thing that he hasn't had to, but this is a night where it proves valuable having that in our back pocket.
And I wonder if it's going to incentivize the Sixers to maybe rest Joel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or for Joel to accept, because a lot of it's dependent on Embiid's decision himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or maybe Joel looks at this like, hey, I can maybe sit out a game against the Magic or whatever, and we're going to be okay. You don't want to mess too much with fire because we all know how much the Sixers dependent on Embiid. But, yeah, I mean, this is great.
Oh, man, just awesome. Awesome. We have a comment. Drummond was huge tonight, kept the momentum going, no doubt about it. They should have played Morant, the way teams play Ben Simmons all night. They just let him shoot.
Can I say something about that? Because the guy didn't make a single jump shot all game, and he scored 38 points or whatever. I mean, if you still think you need a jump shot to be successful in the NBA, there is examples all over the place of players playing at an absolute elite level without a jumper. So the Ben Simmons comparisons don't actually serve tonight. Although I will say that Morant is a much more impactful player at the rim.
Yeah,
Ben is, but the jump shot stuff needs to settle down a little bit.
Very different stylistically from Ben Simmons and how they go about it. Like as much as Simmons, when he's attacking, is much more utilizing his size and just kind of taking advantage of that. Morant is just pure athleticism, pure craftiness, cutting, whatever you want to call it. The ball fakes, the head fakes. He just finds a way to get to a spot, maneuver in, no matter how many bodies are around. So it really is artful in the way he does attack the rim, and just ridiculous finishes tonight. I mean, there was just so many examples of him just hanging there, spinning it the right way and everything. And not much the Sixers could have done better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like prime D Rose. I'm thinking of like Allen Iverson. Like I'm not going to admit that I watch Memphis Grizzlies games, but like you said, Sean, like he was just his body control in air was it's unbelievable.
You know what I'm thinking about this?
What's that?
I'm thinking about Russell Westbrook and the player that he thinks he is. Russell.
Rob says beating the Grizz without Embiid is insane, man. That Memphis team is good, man. They're good. This is arguably their best win of the year.
Yeah.
Did you see Joel after the game? He was pumped. I did not. I saw Seth Curry like run onto the court at the end. Did you see that? That was great when Tyrese was getting the final ball down the lane. I think Matisse threw it like down the court or something like that. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the refs. I just hate talking about the refs. Ja got heart bend, don't big difference. All right, Let's jump right into player of the game, guys. I'm going to throw it to Sean, man. Who is your player of the game tonight?
I know I'm taking the cheapie here, but I can't not give it to Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I just love this kid so much. Like, even him slamming it home and finishing at the end and putting like an exclamation point on the game, I thought was awesome. The energy he brings, he just stepped up to the bar. I mean, this shouldn't be something unexpected at this point for what he's done and what he can do, but he keeps finding ways to surprise me, finding layers to add to his game, and he did it on both ends today, which isn't always the case, and he's shown some real improvement defensively, specifically since when he first came in the NBA. And I think that's especially notable when you think about as the Sixers move forward and as we're looking at this. If he's like a legitimate playable defender, that changes a lot for him. So I'm thrilled with what I saw tonight, and it's so cool when he gets to be the guy.
This is just such a heartfelt win, man.
Yeah.
It's good to see him, get some recognition, because like a lot of people are going to be going nuts over John Morant's game here tonight, and you can't not compare that to Tyrese Maxey's amazing performance. What about you, Tiago?
Now I'm going to go with the coaching staff. You guys all know what I think of our Sixers.
All right. Interesting.
Not a Doc fan, as you guys know, but man, for them to pull a win like this, and I thought that, they were completely outclassed in that game in Memphis. It was like a 35-point loss.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like they belonged in the court with that team. And you could clearly tell there was something said in the locker room because they were not going to be bullied tonight. This Memphis team is about as elite as you're going to see from the Eastern Conference, also obviously being the West, but from the Western Conference teams of the Eastern Conference. They were up there for the fight from the beginning. They punched him in the mouth. They are up there for the physicality. And I think some of that speaks to coaching. I think it's guys, studying what happened last game and taking pride in their own hands. And I thought that, for Rivers to have the two guys ready for them to withstand the barrage, much props to those guys. I still think there's a lot of coaching points that could have been ironed out this game, but overall it was a positive coaching game by Doc Rivers, no question.
How about Danny Green? This comment about Danny Green, man. Danny Green was 2 of 5 from 3. Since coming back, man, he's playing okay. And I feel like Danny Green gets too unfair of a rap here, man, in Philly. He's doing his job. Yes, Sean?
Yeah, huge stop at the end, too. At the end of that overtime period, he ended up in a one-on-one with Ja and got the stop, didn't let him get to his spot, stayed in front of him great way, and which is impressive for the legs that he currently has on him. So awesome stuff out of Danny Green overall.
What about you, Tiago? Any takes on Danny Green lately? Because he's come back and injected some life, especially, I think, like just zero hesitation from 3. Man, the guy's letting it rip.
Yeah, I tweeted this yesterday after watching the Sacramento game closely. I think there's a reason why the Sixers are close to 6 points per possession better defensively when he's on the court. And if you dissect the game closely, like that last possession against Sacramento, he was all over the place. He was all over the place against defensively tonight. I truly think that he's rounding back into shape. And if he's this type of player, I think you can make a very strong argument of the Sixers having him back in the starting lineup with Matisse Thybulle and perhaps with Maxey running that second unit in the way that he played tonight, right? So without so many Embiid minutes side by side and him just kind of running around and making things happen, I think there's a path because the Sixers need a defensive upgrade from the starter. So we'll see, man. But he's been really good in the last 2 to 3 games. So let's hope he keeps it up.
Sheila says, I've been loving Danny Green off the bench. Danny has a knack for hitting big threes, and Danny had a huge OT 3. The dude is shooting 8 of 16, 50% from 3 since returning. And he overall those games, I think that he was a +8. He was a +12 in this game. So the dude is getting it done.
Yeah.
My player of the game is Andre Drummond. I mean, I just can't imagine where this team would be without Andre Drummond. What an again, what an amazing signing that was. He has been everything defensively for this team. He was the rock. The fact that you rebounded the number 1 rebounding team in the league. He had 10 offensive rebounds. That doesn't even go into the defense. So he was my player of the game. Tiago, who's your player of the game? I forget.
I gave it to Coach Rivers.
The coaching. I forgot. I'm doing like 3,
shout out. When I give Rivers a shout out, you can't.
You know who wasn't? You know who was the least most valuable player in this game. The dude who said hit me with a 20 during halftime. What was that? Who does that?
Can I just say something about the least valuable player of the game? What the hell is Allah talking about with the shoes?
Yeah. Like very clearly KD's. He's just going on about running shoes there.
What? I was like, what are we talking about here?
That was worse than when Kate was talking about trees for like 5 minutes.
Allah also called Kyle Anderson a poor man's Magic Johnson tonight, which I don't know where he pulled that one out of. But.
Good thing I had the game on like close to 1 volume.
I think Allah's been better as of late, just for me. And I did appreciate during the broadcast that he admitted that he was like completely biased. So we're making progress, guys. I think we're making progress. Smooth says, why didn't we go over screens on job, man? That was,
yeah, that's one of the many coaching points that they should have ironed out throughout the game.
I have no idea. I got to give a little player of the game love to Tobias Harris. Absolutely. Tobias was great. All right. How would you grade tonight's game, Tiago?
A across the board, man. I didn't think they were going to hang at all with Memphis tonight.
Yeah.
It was announced that Embiid wasn't going to play. That's the type of effort you want. They're going to have some tough games coming up here, man. They're gonna need more efforts like tonight for sure.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. I think this is a A+ win across the board. I mean, anytime you're winning a game without Joel Embiid in the roster is a huge thing, and especially when you're playing a legitimately good team like the Grizzlies. I mean, the effort was there, the execution was there. Took some extra time to get it, but they got it done.
A++, man.
Yeah.
This game was tied in like halfway through the third quarter. I thought that the fact that the Sixers, started out so well and still had that fight in the second half and in overtime, man. A freaking plus. Yep. Well done, Philadelphia 76ers. Let's wrap it up, Sean. Where can we find you, man?
Yeah, check out my written work at phillysportsnetwork.com. Follow me on Twitter at Sean_Bernard1. You can see all my work there. And check out Pick Swap Podcast for Sixers content. We'll have an episode dropping tomorrow. So check that out on YouTube and our Twitter as well at Pick Swap Pod.
Check it out. Tiago, you're up, man.
Yeah, man. You can find me here with you guys. You can find me on Twitter. And I'm also working on an article about who the Sixers should target at the trade deadline. Non-Ben Simmons trades. Not happening anytime soon. But guys they can play around with the margins of the roster and hopefully upgrade. There's a lot of needs they can address in a couple weeks.
Awesome. I'm full all into this Senior Bowl, man. I've got my top 5 guys to watch video. That's already out for next Saturday's Senior Bowl game. Practices start tomorrow. So I'll be dropping videos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Just kind of recapping the top news, whose stock is going up, whose is going down. I cannot wait, man. This is draft season. You know it, Tiago. It's my favorite. This is my baby. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the Senior Bowl on Saturday. So that is my focus this week. But we're going to keep pumping out these Sixers post-game shows. No doubt about it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please be sure to smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you love the Philadelphia 76ers. For Tiago, for Sean, for myself. Oh, go subscribe to the Pick Swap Podcast. You don't want to miss that. Go check them out on Twitter. Follow them and Sean, Philly Sports Network. Please share the love. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll catch you next time. Stay awesome, everyone.